promotion matches continue. Make-A-Wish and Six Karma, both teams that have been dropped to the 3-1 situation via an aerial-arized team. One main, the other an academy squad, now looking to move on to the playoffs of their own volition and up against one another. I'm Time Delight, joined alongside me is Joe. And Joe, moving into our second and final matchup of the night, what are your opinions coming into this? What do you got? What do you got for me?
Dude, it's going to be tough to top that first game. That first series was absolutely fantastic. And if we can get anything even close to that, I'll be happy with it. But I mean, two teams right here, right? Make-A-Wish. I mean, a team that can really cause chaos in any way, shape, and form. And Six Karma, who can basically do the same. However, what Make-A-Wish can't say for themselves is a team that is going to Copenhagen, which Six Karma is. So quite nice that we get to see them right before they go over there.
I'm excited to see Six Karma as well. I was talking earlier, at least, with a couple friends about Six Karma, and you saw a post on Twitter. First non-Brazilian team to go to an international event. Massive pickup for the squad. They are 3/5 Mexican, 2/5 Argentinian. Awesome setup for them. Honestly, pretty cool situation for them. And they're still playing in SFCL. I was actually wondering what their situation would be should they make it to Grand Finals. Because as of right now, Grand Finals are scheduled for April 22nd. That is a Saturday. The first stage of the major is scheduled to start on April 24th. That's a Monday. I don't think they're going to be playing in a Tier 3, Tier 2.5 Grand Final, well, then moving on to try and play in, casually the biggest tournament of the year. Or one of the two, I suppose. Two of the three? Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest tournament of the year, and then Copenhagen Major. So,
Yeah.
it's a big decision to make, to say the
Mhm.
least. But we do see a basement defense coming up. You have that Mira up, you have the Azami up, which are two really powerful operators for this downstairs hold. It's just, if you've really attacked this, you know how difficult it can be with that Azami, how tedious it can be. But on the other side, you have a Capitao and a Blitz. So it looks like a quick take from Make-A-Wish to kind of counter all of that, as I believe most of that setup that is really difficult is going to be on that backside. But a lot of really counters for each other on these two teams, really from both sides. You have that Warden, you have that Wamai, really to deal with those smokes and flame arrows from that Capitao. So a lot going into this, but not too much action going through. But
Yeah.
Akabil getting that first opening pick as he has to try and find his way back downstairs, not able to do it.
A little bit of timing costing you there. You could see the EE1D was going off, but Akabil did not get the opportunity to get away alive. I like the playstyle of Six Karma thus far. Aggression, but measured. As soon as you find a kill, back away, play with your advantages. The problem is, Make-A-Wish is understanding that playstyle, at least thus far, and finding trades where they can come through. By no means is this round a foregone conclusion. Make-A-Wish have made it a little easier for themselves to get towards that site, dropping the Mira and the all-important C4 for the late round.
Yeah, the C4 is definitely a big pick, because that's kind of one of the only two ways they had to deny that plant, as the three smokes are still up from Pachita. But I mean, it's going to be starting to be expended over on that blue side, and that's going to make it a little difficult for Six Karma to really do anything over here. They have to hold Pillar. They can't give up Pillar, and that first kill is going to make that job easier. As Maxilium Rex, still alive, can cause a lot of havoc with these smokes and these flame arrows, and obviously that big fat shield in front of Maxili's face, but Six Karma still have a little bit of work to do as Make-A-Wish starting to use that utility to get in over here.
Need to be able to find a way on towards the site, though, and Soko with a double, not allowing that to happen anytime soon. Maxley on this blitz and the Capitao of Rexavi. It's just not going to happen. Shots from Skimzo, and that's just dropped away. A double, however. What is that from Maxley? Down to a 1 versus 2 and 40 seconds left. They have all their utility. This diffuser's not completely out of their control, so they actually have a way on towards the site should they be given the opportunity to get it. But Soko looking to swing as the glass is available should they be required, and with 3 flashes left, you know that Maxley wants to try and use them. Won't even be given the opportunity. Soko finds a 3K, and Six Karma open up the basement round victory.
Yeah, it was off the back of that early aggression right there, and Make-A-Wish never really stabilized after that. They tried to really, I guess, work a couple picks, but they weren't able to do it. And it felt like the entirety of the round they were playing from behind. And against a six karma team like that, that's going to be pushing the pace. That's not a way, a position that you really want to find yourself in. And it's really going to be off the back of these early engagements that Make-A-Wish is going to have to try and win these rounds. It's going to have to be those entries that really make an impact on the early round if they want to take some of these attacks. And that first round, they were not able to do that.
ELDR on the overall situation for us, by the way, since we did not have full time to do a pre-show as per usual. Both of these teams are 3-1 in the Swiss stage. Winner of this moves on to the playoffs. Loser of this goes to round 5 for 2-2. Or both of these teams are 2-1. Winner of this goes to 3-1. Moves on. Loser 2-2. Needs to play 5th round. Map bans are at the top right of your screen. This is Make-A-Wish's map pick of Oregon. Cafe is next, picked by 6 Karma, with the decider of Clubhouse should acquired, and 6 Karma do start on the defensive side, as it was their choice on Oregon. I don't know if you realized that 6 Karma started on the defensive side.
Of course, you just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. No cause for concern, but Maxley on this Amaru, which we do see a lot as that drone is in T2. It's going to allow him the information to be able to take this control very early. As there is a rotate hole, and sometimes you do see some teams reinforce that off if they're not going to be able to play it, but 6 Karma not going to opt to do that, as Maxley is going to be able to take that control. And it's a large part of the map they're going to be able to have as you see the Oryx start to push over there, and I guess not really having anything going as Maxley has the task of holding down that tower area to have that late pressure over there.
Creating some space on the top floor. He's trying to set up that lateral take across. You can see Make-A-Wish have so many options right now. They're split up in 3 or 4 separate scenarios. Kixro obviously in the armory hallways, you can see, with Silent trying to create some space over towards Master alongside Rex, and 6 Karma are allowing them the space. By no means is this fully earned, but it's also not for free. And with that allowed space comes the disallowed pressure, and that opening kill again goes 6 Karma's way. This time, not early trades, and they keep the fight.
Yeah, and Skimsy's really tough to control on those opening picks. As a second one is found, it's Skimsy who gets given that kill, as Rexavy is able to find one, and Maxley really is the one that has the round on his shoulders here, as there is information that there is a player here, but he's the one that needs to get the picks. The rest of these players kind of boxed in right here. Akabil goes for the swing, has the C4 to blow it, and able to find it as Rexavy is taken down as well. And Butters going for the kill, finds it as he's in a 1v4, and Soko finds one himself, and 6 Karma in a quick 2-round lead to start us off on Oregon.
A clean finish to that round as well. They have a playstyle and they're sticking to it. Make-A-Wish do not have a direct counter to 6 Karma's aggression, but 6 Karma is also not over-aggressing to give them too many avenues back into these rounds. If 6K is able to find those opening duels and Make-A-Wish cannot immediately trade it, that's a disadvantage that Make-A-Wish has to bind back, but then they're put in a situation where they have to over-aggress. It costs them, and you can see right there, it costs them a round. They also honestly just didn't know where 6 Karma was setting up. No avenue of attack on sight, no real opening into a round. And now, 6 Karma, back-to-back rounds, they'll move on to Meeting and Kitchen as their third bomb site rotation. I appreciate Meeting Kitchen. The grand question, Joe, in 2 words, Meeting Kitchen or Kitchen Dining?
Meeting Kitchen. Plain and simple. It's a lot easier to hold for the most part, especially with a Valk. But I mean, we have seen dining being able to be used, especially with a zombie up, and it's just a lot of operators. But it's just one of those, sites where if you lose showers, you basically lose the round. So, Meeting a lot safer is, there's not any power positions where, if you lose one specific thing, you lose the entire round. It can't snowball up like that. And Meeting, it allows for more playmaking. It kind of fits that style that 6 Karma, I'm assuming, really, wants to go for and they're comfortable with. And Make-A-Wish, they're going to have to take a lot more of the map, which, 6 Karma has shown so far that they're not really okay with giving up, as Kixro finds his first kill of the round. And this is the first time that Make-A-Wish have really had a man advantage so far, and it's going to be very big to see what they can do with it. And as we can see, it does not last for very long.
Six Karma understand where their weaknesses lie and are reaggressing to try and gain those back and at least remove the adjective weakness from that. Make-A-Wish are still in this round. Again, 4v4 is not the most unheard of round to win, but 6 Karma is going to make it difficult for them. Soko stuck out in that armory hell. Oh my goodness, Montequila not done with that fight just yet. Akabil, talked about them a few times thus far. Shots down, trying to take the drone. They will do so indeed. But this information for 6 Karma, well, they're now having to remove it. That Dokebi able to hack out cams and that primary or passive ability making things difficult, but then again, so is 6 Karma as a whole.
And no upstairs control for Make-A-Wish to build off of it all, but you do see Kix working his way through security, and he's kind of has an ability to go through here, but Akabil hits a nice little pre-fires. There's no holes, I don't think, no rotates or anything inside of security, so Kix not able to make anything happen over there. He has to fight for a case back, finds the first kill, more work to be done. Akabil starting to peek out right here. Kix row needs to find this kill as he isolates this one. A beautiful shot for him. He does not have the information on this last player. Skimzy left in a 1v1, has those little cheeky foot angles to work with, and Kix not sure he knows where this player is. Maybe a little bit of audio to work with as he's able to rotate over to this kitchen side. Skimzy now knows as well he's going to make his way over to kitchen, and Kix, I'm sure he knows where this player is. A huge clutch would be big here for the round. Takes damage, but not able to hit the shot. Skimzy clutches out the round, and it got a little scary for 6 Karma, but they give themselves a 3-0 lead to start off their defensive half.
Patience there for 6 Karma was not there as it was just a couple rounds ago, but the patience for Skimzy specifically in that fight, playing around known information and sound cues, basically giving themselves the best shot possible to take that fight and to win it, even on somewhat low HP. Into our replays, powered by the High School Esports League, and the shots across. Kixrow made it difficult, don't get me wrong, 3k on the round, very close to a 4k. If I recall correctly, Skimzy was within 25 HP of death, but didn't happen, and because of it, 6 Karma on that defensive side complete the rotation, and are now making things fairly easy for them as they try a second kill.
Yeah, and the first time they went to this site, it looked pretty comfortable for them, and I mean, I guess all three technically were pretty comfortable. I mean, that round did go down to a 1v1, but they were in control the entire time. They just threw away a couple bodies later on in the round, but like we said, the early round needs to go the way of Make-A-Wish, and they found that opening pick that last round, but forfeited it right back, maybe 10 seconds later, and you know, that's not the position you want to be in. When you get that opening pick, you know the style of 6 Karma. You know they're going to try and get in your face, especially when they're down a man. I mean, that's just, you know, fundamental siege right there. Fundamental competitive siege. When you're down man, a lot of the times you need to get aggressive to get that pick back. And that's something that Make-A-Wish needs to expect. And whether that's just losing the fight or anything, they need to hold more passive angles or, you know, stack up bodies. They need to do something to make sure that they don't just gift the man advantage right away back. And oh my goodness.
Hello. This is just gross. 6 Karma on a consistent basis are just dumpstering Make-A-Wish on these opening fights. And even when they lose an opening fight, they're like, well, actually, I'll still gain the man advantage somehow. And how they figured that one out is beyond me. I'd like to steal their playbook for my ranked games. Please and thank you. I need to get out of it. But that's not there. Make-A-Wish on this attack, basically playing from behind in every single round, are having problems on top of problems on top of problems, and they're just not finding early solutions. Akabil being baited in here on the C angle. Silent does find a refrag, but Soko gets a kill and gets out with their life, so 6 Karma more than content with that trade, as again, they come out on top.
Yeah, and it just looks like Make-A-Wish is uncomfortable with the pacing of the game, just where I think they want the aggression to be in that mid-round after they've kind of, you know, given themselves a footing in the round, but that's not something they've had. It's always been from the get-go. Right when the round starts, that's when the pressure comes in. They haven't had any time to really get their footing sorted at all, and it's making them very uncomfortable. And like we said, playing from behind in every round, that's not a position you want to be in. And it is only a 3v4, but especially on this basement setup, you have the Azami, you have the Miras to work with so much that they have to get rid of. As Skimzy down to 1 HP, Rexavi not able to find the kill, but Silent does just that. As there's a minute left, the round or the man advantage is equalized now. 3v3, still not a lot of time, but Make-A-Wish still have some work to do here.
Shots almost shooting his teammate, but Pachito actually does find the kill. I don't know how in the world Silent dies to Pachito there, but I suppose you do you. Long range, a follow-up on Direct Savvy, and it's down to Maxley with this 417 and a very definitive dream here. Does find one on the Pachito, so the round now far from over. 1v2, certainly possible, of course. Down on just 15 health. It is not easy by any means. The aggression has to come through. Soko long range as the Warden, the worst person to smoke off in the game, other than maybe Glaz, and even then you're pushing it, you walk straight into it, and you die because of it. 6 Karma now with 4 consecutive rounds, as they are not stopping.
Yeah, and they're showing the power of Warden downstairs, with both styles that I guess Make-A-Wish has really gone for. They went for that direct back with the Capital and the Blitz, which the Warden directly counters. And then you go for that Twitch play up front to try and deal with those mirrors, not able to do that, but you still have the smokes to be able to smoke off the mirrors, which, sometimes is just as good, but that Warden, as you know, can see right through those smokes in both rounds, punishing Make-A-Wish for what they've been doing. And we can reiterate it over and over again. It's just 6 Karma doing a great job at getting in the faces of Make-A-Wish and finding those kills early and just really making them scared throughout. It feels like wherever angle Make-A-Wish are peeking, they have to expect the body just because 6 Karma, they're kind of everywhere at the moment. They just, everywhere you look, it feels like they're going to be peeking. And that, for starters, makes a team really unsure of what they want to be doing and where they're going because they just think that at any given moment, they could find a player from 6 Karma just peeking them. And, that just gives you that sense where you're kind of scared throughout 3 minutes of the round. And F6 Karma have been doing a great job at doing that and finding the correct positions to do that and the correct timings of it. And it's led to a pretty dominant 4-0 start.
My favorite part of watching 6 Karma, between both the Latin American League, which a few people that we both know cover, and here in SFCL, is seeing how their opponents meet their playstyle. And that was the same conversation back when 6 Karma was playing in national leagues up against Brazilian teams and eventually having played against their fellow Argentinian and Mexican teams just the same. And it just was not going well for opposing squads in North America because of their just aggression that was not met. For instance, Akabil taking a fight down Green Hall to support Morphed, who's stuck in Kitchen, but stuck no more, as they lose about 75 health, but are still taking fights and still finding kills. The aggression, it's not done yet. 2 opening duels and 6 Karma up in a 5v3.
Those are fights you just need to win, right? You have a player who is unsuspecting of you, and you get down all the way through into a position that they have no idea where you're at, and you miss a couple shots, you end up getting killed, and your teammate going for the trade ends up going down as well, and Skimzy gives himself right back. But even then, that's not the first time that's happened, where they have a 3v5, or I should say a 5v3, and end up getting attacked. But actually a nice opportunity to try and get one back, and he does down this player. Not sure if he does know that he's down. Does know now as he's able to confirm it in a 3v3, which, like we said, is not an unfamiliar position for these two teams. But Make-A-Wish, they need to do something to get themselves back into the game, and there is no better time than converting on this straight opportunity.
First person ever to actually use Oryx and the elevation that he offers is Pachito. Congratulations, you get a prize of bragging rights, I suppose. Maxley down to 1 HP, but they still find a kill off the back of it. Morph, who was low earlier, is now punished because of their low HP. Granted, a headshot is a little overkill in that conversation, but still punished nonetheless. Low HP still for Montequila, and Rex Savvy on just 75 points of health. 6 Karma does not have a man advantage, but surprisingly enough, they have an HP advantage. Well, they did until about 2 seconds ago. Another good nade, this time on to Soko, who still wants to aggress, but this time it will be to their demise. And Pachito's now left alone. 1 versus 3 for them. T5 and a 1.5 in hand. Finds a first kill. Will try to use the Rima Dash to get through the attic wall and get out alive. will miss the opportunity, but will still create a rotation hole and drop Maxley off the back of it. Rixavi, the highest HP player of the remaining 3, trying to take the fight. The fake drop from Pachito, he's still sitting here in Attic, trying to catch out Rixavi if they do not have the time, and they have to stick to defuse. They do not have the time whatsoever. What a wonderful 1v3 from Pachito, and 6 Karma with 5 straight rounds.
I mean, you could just see that coming from a million miles away. The second he was able to ISO that kill onto Butters on that satellite window, it was just written in the stars, right? I mean, he just has the position right here to make it all happen, and a couple of bad decisions, and Make-A-Wish not able to convert on a 3v1. And then this is their map pick right here. And, you know, they are starting on the tough side of attack, which, you know, the Ying is off the board, and you still have a Mira, Valk, and Azami to all work with on these attacks, which should make it a little more defender-sided. But this heavily favored to the defense, that's not a position you can really go for. And maybe they're very comfortable on their defenses, but this is a very unconvincing Make-A-Wish team that it just doesn't look like they've found themselves as a part of the game yet. They're not awake yet at all, and 6 Karma are just finding every single bit of advantage and opening that they've been able to find, really, and take full advantage of it. And I mean, that's a round you can't lose, to be honest with you, especially against a good team like this.
There are a couple of those rounds where you're looking at Make-A-Wish and saying, this could probably be 3-2. And if it was 3-2, we'd be in a significantly different conversation at this point. But it's not. Let's not call apples oranges and oranges apples. This is a 5-0 scoreline, and Make-A-Wish are significantly behind in this game. And by no means should they directly be. Sure, losing around here and there is obviously understandable, and flexing to a new type of playstyle, maybe, but Skimzy from up above, inside of Armory, down into the small garage, and 6 Karma are looking to run away with Oregon as 2 completely unanswered opening picks. The extent of damage done to 6 Karma is onto Skimzy, and that's because he naded himself. Oh my goodness gracious.
It's what's so beautiful about it is that it's not just one spawn peak that they're going for, or just one early aggressive play. It is about 3 at the same time, all over the map at 3 different points, and that is just wow. Oh, hello. It's just like, it's so hard to keep track of when, you know, you see one peak. It's everybody feels like they're watching that singular angle when there's 2 other players at different areas going for those peaks as well. And 6 Karma, a great display. This is a map that they've shown to be good on Oregon, but Make-A-Wish now have found themselves onto this defense, which, I mean, I guess at this moment is pretty advantageous, and we'll see if they can kind of string some rounds together. And even if, you know, it's not enough to win this map, this is a best of 3, and they need some form of momentum, some confidence going into map 2, because you are going into 6K's map pick. So you need something to take away from this map to go into that one. And whether that's a couple rounds or just, you know, a few gunfights, wins that you haven't had so far this map, something needs to happen really on this map going into map 2.
Some current situations around the board inside of the SFCL, if you may be at all curious. Winner of this, again, does advance and makes it into the playoffs. Loser of this will fall to 2-2 and join, if I recall correctly, 5 other teams, 3 of whom have already been decided: Orbit, West Garfield Park, and Outlast at 2-2 to try and compete in that 5th round and move on. The undecided teams will play in the remainder of this week. Lycus Empire takes on Decimate Gaming, and GGG Academy up against Method in later games as well. Those should both be going on tomorrow to close out at least round 4 of the Swiss.
That was a beautiful recap, you know? That was like the sports center of SFCL. It was lovely.
Welcome to Sports Center. This week, 6 Karma is running away with it, and all that and more after the break.
Beautiful. Such a broadcasting voice you have, you know that? It's great. But, I mean, Make-A-Wish, I like that they're pressing the pace, but it's different than what you saw from 6 Karma. What they did is they pushed the pace, but they went for picks. Make-A-Wish is just denying control, which is great, but the way that 6 Karma is playing is they're playing for the picks. And if Make-A-Wish doesn't get one, I fear for the late round, because I think they need to be getting those early picks, and they almost do get one. Soko, if that is any other operator in the game that's not a fatty, they go down right there. Soko, luckily, has a 3 armor right there, able to survive a little bit, but Maxley is on the top of tower and just waiting for the opportunity to pounce.
Or maybe called. I'm not sure if their phone's going off right now, but Maxley's just walking straight down, is not checked on the top side of tower, and this creativity on the defensive side works out for the time being for Make-A-Wish. Soko is still on just 1 point of health, but that 1 point allows them to get 1 nade away, which does significantly more than that, and brings it back to a 3v3. Health advantage there for Make-A-Wish, but really nothing else at this point. Good real estate control overall for 6 Karma. Maxley trying a flank, their position relatively known. They're either downstairs or sitting around security, but they walk in. Is there somebody next to them? Is somebody in security or is that Z? I can't tell if my eyes are playing tricks on me. It may not matter. They do get one. It was indeed Z. Pachito finds a refrag, and they are now looking in a 1v2 to close out Oregon.
Well, I know this player is down. I believe there is information inside of Freezer over here, and no Warden to really be doing anything, but there should be a Valcam, as I'm sure he's looking for. You do see one person on those Valcams right there, and it's going to be tough for him to really get this player up off the ground, and he does end up getting the revive, and they allow him to get this when he really shouldn't have been able to get this off, and Pachito throws out this smoke. That's going to make this player in Rexavy not really able to do much of anything, and Kix does go for the swing, finds the kill as Rex finds the other one, and Make-A-Wish put themselves on the board.
One thing you have to love there from Rexavy as well is setting themselves up well. While still taking that long fight, they understood, I'm smoked off, I can't do a dang thing. I'm going to reposition. And in those fights, it's so difficult to say, oh, I'm just not going to spray through a smoke. But they didn't, and they backed away to take another fight, most importantly, helping out their teammate in the final few seconds of the round, making sure it was the final few seconds of the round and not just a 1v1 off the back of a refrag. Now Make-A-Wish have a way back into this. Granted, they still do have to complete the rotation twice. They are 1/6 of the way to sending us to OT, but I believe, as everybody likes to say, baby steps, and then maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, baby steps, and like I said, even if they don't win this map, even though it is their pick, you kind of want it to be a little bit closer than it is at the moment, which never say never, never say die. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you get a couple of rounds together and all of a sudden, 6-3, 6-4. It's like, all right, guys, we have a chance. And it's a good position to be in. And you got to take it one round at a time. But the way that I see it, they need to just get that confidence going for map 2. And, a 7-1, even though they did just win their first round, isn't enough for me to really be confident enough in this team. But I mean, it's a much better start. They had those opening picks, and they were able to build off of that quite well as they found a second one, put themselves in a 5v3s. Maxley going for that early pick that I said, and oh no, it was he just needed a second, just one more second. Oh, it was there in the grasp, in the palm of his hand.
Welcome to timing and first-person shooters, ladies and gentlemen, where more often than not, they will get the better of you and you don't lose gunfights. It's always timing's fault, and it's always the game's fault. That's my outlook on life. Cheeto, droning out the bottom floor. They have not cleared out Pixro, playing on the Mozzie. Creative decision to pick up the Mozzie, with a P10 no less. Usually I bring in the command myself, but to each their own. Akabil being droned straight up the stairs. They're just going to walk straight in and waste very little time. Rexavy across, looking for this shot in towards the Armory Hall, but they will back away. And 6 Karma have droned themselves into a lot of map control. One thing that Make-A-Wish was significantly lacking, that map control can be an Achilles heel, or maybe a C4 under your heels, as the opening kill goes the way of Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, not able to really react off of that information as quickly as they could, and Skimzy does find that kill with that information that they had just gotten, as Silent ends up going down as Rex is in sight, takes a couple bullets of HP, and 6 Karma kind of ignoring all of those players below as they're just going to take all this control upstairs, but maybe that is their undoing as Kix finds another kill. But Butters, who I believe was one of the site players, ends up going down as there's only 2 players up here. Kix finds one kill, a beautiful shot on that player in pit, but ends up getting traded out as Soko finds another kill on that big window as Rex put himself in a nice little spot on this Bolo area as Maxley is downstairs still, but that's not a part of the fight at all. But the C4 comes out, and he finds the kill on the white stairs as well. Maxley finding himself a quick double kill to close out the round, and Make-A-Wish making their presence known, saying this game is not as easy as you think.
This map, maybe not far from over at any time, about 4.5 minutes, if you count your prep phase, even the diffuser plant sometimes. But 6 Karma need to make sure they can lock it down. Obviously, everybody says, oh yeah, you're on match point, things should be easy. But there are two massively different things that can come with being on match point. Number one, complacency. If you get a little bit too confident or arrogant at some point, there is a very fine line between the two adjectives. Then you could be caught off guard by a team that is just playing their default playstyle. If they're pretending it's 0-0, if they have that mindset, which I envy, by the way, then you can be caught off guard. And Make-A-Wish are playing exactly like that. They are pretending this is a new game. If you lose a round, sure, we move on. Next map, GG, go next. But they're not done just yet, and they want to make sure that they at least are known on this map of Oregon, because, yeah, Cafe is 6 Karma's map pick, but it's Cafe. Let's be real with each other. Everybody's played Cafe like 40 billion times. So they at least have some semblance of an idea of what's going on over there. And they should have had a little bit more of one here in Oregon, but it's also Oregon, so you never really know.
I think Oregon's very similar to Cafe in that sense, but Cafe I think is a little bit different just because it suits that aggressive style with how many windows there are. Is silent through that glass. That's tough. But Kix finds one, instantly traded out, and you see Make-A-Wish going for those early kills and maybe not coming out on top every single time, but they've been able to really make it happen. And Soka, I think, heard that rep for silent, and luckily the window's not open. None of those engagements can go out as Skimzy takes a lot of damage, but Butters ends up going down in that engagement, and that's the second line call already. Only one more in his pocket, but 3 deaths within 30 seconds as there's finally a little bit of peace and quiet on the map.
No hope on the Western Front here for 6 Karma, though. They are up a man, but don't have all the advantages you may find off the back of it. Their real estate is significantly lacking. Maxley, could have had the timing, looking for a kill, has to now back away. They have the Bailiff as a secondary, and a get-out-of-jail-free card in the backside of Attic. They still want to try and take this fight. Maxley still playing in front of their own holograms as well, making sure that at a bare minimum, 6 Karma will relinquish their anonymity in order to take that fight. Rexavy caught off guard, though. Skimzy there for the redundancy, and 6 Karma make it a 4v2 with 90 seconds left to try and send us to an early Cafe.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Silent and Max. Max has been going very, very big for them, and Silent has kind of been lacking on that front, but we know how impactful Silent can be. We've seen him do it before, and you see 6 Karma already working into their site, and Maxley is the one who is here that has to go big, and he's not able to hit the shots. It is going to be all down to Silent to keep them alive on this map. One couple of shots are going to go out. His position will be known as that bomb is now down. 40 seconds to make it happen. Maxley going to try and be that human drone, but Akabil actually goes down to a Capcan trap, and Silent finds the first kill. And Soko, it's all down to him, as Silent does not know where this player is, and Soko does get the kill. They close out the map. 6 Karma dominant on Make-A-Wish's pick.
Yeah, but the one thing you have to worry about now if you're 6 Karma is you have lost your momentum. You had a 6-0 run, and Make-A-Wish almost made it 3 in a row back the other way. A Capcan trap could have been the difference in that conversation. But Oregon ends 7-2, and 6 Karma do indeed drop Make-A-Wish's map pick. Depends on who you're rooting for, maybe, depending on your mindset. But Joe, definitive showing early from 6 Karma, and no matter how they closed out, they still have 7 rounds in map 1.
Yeah, they do. That's just enough to win the game, isn't it? But I think Make-A-Wish has a really big decision to make going into this map 2 on what their identity, I guess, is, on how they really want to attack this kind of style. It's really, one of two things. You either buy into that chaotic playstyle that 6 Karma brings and just bring, fight fire with fire, which is a very effective strategy and one that they can do. They have the gun skill to do it, and they can create that chaos that Six Karma does, or they have to do it with kind of a structured, coordinated, aggressive approach. But we are going to go to a break. We're going to see what that approach that they take is after this short break over on the cafe.
Make-A-Wish out of Oregon. 7-2 fashion after a 6-0 first half. Make-A-Wish had signs of life in both rounds and in the map as a whole later on, but not enough to warrant a heartbeat or, by far, round victory. Welcome back to SFCL Season 6. This is our 9th playday and promotion matches in Swiss Round 4. Winner moves on to playoffs. Loser into Round 5, having to vie for a spot in either playoffs or the relegation zone out of this SFCL season. Joe alongside me on Time to Light. And Joe, what has to change for Make-A-Wish if they want to send this to a third map?
Like we said right before the break, it's kind of two options that they have. It's either really just commit to that aggressive play style and just fight fire with fire, run around, see what they can do, really make it scrappy, or really buy into coordinated aggression, really play together, never, and I mean never, leave the side of your teammates, ever, not once. And it's really just going to have to be one of the two, no middle ground, because that was the middle ground on Oregon. That's what we saw. It didn't exactly go very well. So I expect to see one of the two. Otherwise, the game should be quite similar to what we saw.
So you're telling me that when my mommy told me that the buddy system is a good thing, that she was talking about video games?
Yes.
I knew it.
Exactly.
200 IQ Joe employing 9-year-old tactics to, what, an 8-year-old game?
Yeah.
I suppose. And that has to change. We were talking about play styles. The Latin American play style, LATAM North versus LATAM South, really not the conversation. But overall in Latin America, including a little bit of Brazil, because obviously they still scrim against one another, you have to say it is more aggressive at a baseline level. And then when you start to dwindle it down, Six Karma at this point have played aggression, but they have played a little bit more passive later on in rounds, not having to take as many gunfights in the closer of rounds. So what they do is they back away and at least give away some space, but still punish for the real estate that is given over. Into our ban phase for map number 2, Make-A-Wish start on the defensive side this time around, and with their opening ban, they decide to take out the Danish Frogmen. Kind of ironic, considering Six Karma is heading to Denmark in just 2 weeks.
That was a great line. That threw me off right there. That was fantastic. No, but I mean, a Ying going down is great, but like the cool part about Six Karma and where they're located is that they get to scrim both North American teams and
Yeah.
Brazilian teams, because like it allows them to really get used to both play styles and able to incorporate that into their game, and it kind of creates that hybrid play style that we've kind of seen from them, even though it does lean more towards that aggressive LATAM style more than that NA style. But at the end of the day, Make-A-Wish, they need to understand who they're playing against. They need to expect this playstyle. There's no reason for them to really come into this game and be surprised, I guess, caught off guard by what they're seeing. You have to expect that and what Six Karma is doing. And I mean, now that they've seen it for a map, they may have gotten a little bit more of the hang of it later on in that map, but they need to start off strong. There's no way they can afford to go down 6 rounds again on this map too, obviously. But I mean, the way I see it, you lose 3-4 rounds right off the rip, this game's over.
And the conversation around knowing what you're walking into as well. Six Karma is playing in a Tier 1 league, and as a Tier 1 team has played every single one of their Tier 1 games live, on stream, on the official Rainbow Six stream. So by no means should you have a lack of VODs to watch. They've played every single game thus far in SFCL on stream. Again, no lack of VODs to watch, and then couple that alongside the fact that they've played in prior iterations of the team in prior SFCL seasons. You can combine those two things to say Six Karma is a team to watch, and you have the ability to do just that. So Make-A-Wish, hopefully here on Cafe, now knowing what Six Karma is bringing, considering it is their map pick, that leads to the fact they may play it a little bit more often. Hopefully, there's more VODs to watch back. Interesting decision here for Silent to bring the Vigil, but if they know something I don't, I'm very happy to see what that is.
I think Vigil can be pretty good on this map just because, that Vigil scan may not be great on more linear maps, but on a map like Cafe that has 3 floors, it can really, provide for, more something that, I guess more confusion is the word. So Vigil on this map, maybe not the worst thing in the world, as they're going for these opening picks, not able to find it. Soko does have that Blackbeard, but that little glass bulletproof shield that normally goes in front of his face, not yet applied. So, very scary moment as he now decides to throw it on there after being terrified. And whoa,
Just saw somebody.
And so did
Somebody's
that
been seen a
sledge.
second time.
Wow.
Second attempt here. Akabil not wasting any time here with the pistol out. What in the world is Akabil doing? Yeah, sure. Whatever. Why not? Because who the heck cares about things that usually happen in Rainbow Six Siege? Here's that Vigil I was talking about. Silent now finding their first kill of the round, but it's a 3v1. They're exiled from the site. They're 2 avenues back up. I'm sure being watched like Blackhawks from above. And Six Karma have this first round on lock. And they're not done. Flash forward, Silent can't see anything whatsoever. It's like somebody pulled a sheet over his head and he was evaporated. What a dominant first round from Six Karma.
That was quick. 3 kills, and it felt like nobody was even really in the map. I didn't even know what happened. This all happened so fast. It's like hard to even analyze. It's like, what happened? It's 3 kills.
Chaos.
Straight up. Chaos. You're right.
I think the chaos for Make-A-Wish is what caught them out. You could see, even with all the sound cues in the world, I don't think a sledge really slow walking while standing in your general direction with a pistol out is something you're too worried about on a consistent basis, especially after taking that first fight. I believe there were holes created through the floor that we saw them watching as Butters was trying to do something there, but it didn't work. And, casual headshot. Surprising, but at least the fact of how it happened, not that it was a headshot. Wild finish, but 6 Karma still able to walk away with it.
Yeah. I mean, a good start to your attacking half, isn't it? Where Cafe really... Most of the time, we find it as a defender-sided map, especially when you have ops like Solus and Valk available to you, and that can really allow for very aggressive plays and good information as well. That Solus can provide a lot of information on aggressive plays on a map like Cafe, as well as Valk, which on a map that has very open rooms and certain areas that are very open, like Pillar or even this restaurant area downstairs, very wide areas where, a camera placed in the right spot can give you a ton of information. So 2 very powerful operators. Very shocked they weren't implemented that amazingly in that first round, but you do see another very, very powerful operator on this map, which is the Amaru, as the Valk, I think, is aware.
Hello.
But that's a shotgun and not a fight you should be expected to win all too often, as Maxley does find a second kill with that Solus, but not enough to actually hold on to the man advantage, as we did see that kill with Akabil with that nice little Amaru shotgun.
Love the Supernova. One of my favorite shotguns in the game. Second only to the close quarter combat that we see from the GIG and French operators, usually shotgun. You ever see that? Good overall real estate from Morphed. I don't even know if they were trying to find a kill there or if they were just looking to open up the window. I think there was a little hole in the bottom corner they were able to find the kill off the back of. And again, 6 Karma playing around real estate that they have gained and had been given to them. And they already have most of the top floor control, but Impact Grenade to kill the Amaru of Akabil, that's a way back into this round here for Big Fish.
Yeah, just spotting out that player on the flank, Akabil definitely knew a player was coming, but Maxley, wiser, experienced, knows where to throw them things, and that's tough. I now see what happened. He tried to open up the hallway to try and kill someone, and it blew him up. But that is enough to restore a 3v3, put themselves back on an even playing fields, and Silent has found himself in a nice little spot on Ticket that I don't think any of these players are going to find, as he's going to start to swing out, and he should be able to find one. He finds a second. I'm sure that he spotted the third, as he now has Case down, and he's not going to swing out too far. Silent finds the third. What a
Silent
round for him.
Pinpoint in the later stage in that round. If they had given up Cigar fully earlier, that round is over. That's 6 Karma collapsing on top of you, having 3 separate avenues of attack, and the 3-prong attack, like a trident pushing forward, is deadly to say the very least. Akabil there, but here's the all-important double swing from Silent, and the third, just to make sure it is a foregone conclusion. Those replays brought to you by the High School Esports League, and the dominance brought to you by Silent, as 6 Karma. That opening round, you seemingly have already forgot it, because Make-A-Wish have brought it right back.
Yeah, better start than on Oregon, huh? Which I guess we could expect, because they are on defense, better side, and I think it's weird, and I'm interested to see how this round goes, and if this round does result in a loss, and I know I may be seeming to be a negative Nancy here, I don't mean to do that, but
Come on, Joe.
if it were to happen, all I'm saying is I think, personally, they should continue to utilize the Valkyrie and the Solus, and that is such a nice shot. That is the way to start off a round. Hicks finding his first of the map.
Is there still that old rule where you can't find a kill in the first 3 seconds of a round? I'm honestly not sure if it still is, considering how the spawns have changed. I also haven't thoroughly investigated the official rulebook. Just Akabil gets jumped out on, but he melees Kicksrow, because why not? Now the Gara hook up, he gets shut down. I cannot believe that just happened. Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's a good trade to get, I guess. It's gunfire raining out on both sides. Silent, maybe giving himself a little bit of a heat check, which at this stage of the game, I am a pretty large fan of. And he looks like he's going to go for the run out over here and finds it. His 5th kill of the game, and he seems to start heating up. Not something we've seen so far in the series, but it's something that Make-A-Wish needed, as Maxley puts himself to his 5th kill so far as well. He's going to swing again.
Okay.
He finds the kill. Make-A-Wish, the guns, they're starting to wake up.
I didn't know we were playing a card game, considering the amount of Uno reverse cards Make-A-Wish have brought out in this first 3 rounds of Cafe. Because that aggression that we remember from Six Karma, distinctly at that, well, here it is from Make-A-Wish. Kixro actually almost worked. He was trying to walk in off the back of a drone sound cue, hence the reason that window was broken. But Silent with a double refrag, Maxley with a double kill, and just like that, you have a round that is very quickly done. And Make-A-Wish, again, take a round, but this time, it's to take their first of the matchup. And they go back to the first floor. They do not want to go to the bottom floor. I suppose first floor's down there. They go back to the second floor.
Yeah, I mean, some teams just don't like it. You know, some teams aren't a fan of that site. I know a few teams that aren't a fan of Cocktail, so a lot of teams do choose to utilize this mining site, which is still a good site. That's the luxury of Cafe. You have 4 sites that are viable and really able to be defended. You know, not every map can really say that for themselves, so Make-A-Wish choosing to utilize this mining room and continuing to try and build off of what they've started this game off. Maxley and Silent both having very hot starts, and Max really continuing what he had on that first map. He was one of, I guess, the good performers from Make-A-Wish, something that he didn't have from all 5 players, and Silent being the one to step up over here, and that's something that they've needed, somebody else to step up in a big way. And Make-A-Wish starting to string some rounds together, but in my eyes, this is the big one. Can they really establish themselves a little bit, give themselves a bit of a lead, and really start to actually put some pressure on Six Karma?
Problem also here for Six Karma is finding an easy way into the site or into places around the site, because Make-A-Wish has had such a dynamic defensive setup. A lot of the kills that we've seen have very sparsely actually been on the site itself. They've played aggressive angles, and they've played aggressive places, most importantly, to where Six Karma just are not expecting it. I.e., Cigar Shop in back-to-back rounds, or Cigar Lounge in back-to-back rounds, Cigar Shop in the first round that almost not. It's still Six Karma having to worry about so many different places to where even if you drone as much as you please, you're going to run out of drones fairly quick.
Yeah, Morph has actually put himself on a nice little spot, and the way that he's opened up everything, he can see a lot of this site, and Make-A-Wish is going to have to try and do something to get him out of this position, but I'm not sure there's really much for them to be able to do outside of that garage spot. But the smoke's starting to go in as they have that glass, so you can see the cross, and that's a great spot for him to be. And there's 2 players on these windows, and so much really for them to do as the glass is going to be able to get that open, and Soko going to try and find this kill. And there is a player up in ticket. It is Maxley, and able to find the opening kill. Maxley continuing to show his dominant performances. Kicks adds to it as well. A 5v3 for Make-A-Wish as Akabil trying to see the head as he is able to spot it, but Butters starting to add to the tally, as well as every single player on Make-A-Wish is sharing the wealth as Kicks ends up getting taken down, but that is not enough to make this round any closer, as Six Karma has a lot more work to do as Maxley just finds another.
And you have to feel bad for Six Karma because a lot of these fights are like, how am I supposed to win this? An OTS vertically up against Maxley on a 1.5 trying to take fights and just dusting you at seemingly every feasible position. Looking straight up and finding an as-ADSing headshot. He didn't even fully look down sights, and yet still Ash, without a hitbox, evaporated at his feet. And Make-A-Wish now with 3 straight rounds as they successfully complete the rotation and didn't even have to go to Kitchen.
God, remember those days when she didn't have a hitbox and it was so tiny and everyone was complaining about it?
Wait, hold up. 5.5 minutes ago?
No. I mean, like, way back. when it was a real issue.
I still complain about it.
It's like
Because-
broken.
Granted, I suck, so that's why she doesn't have a hitbox.
It's an excuse, you know? You like it.
Like I said, it's the game's fault.
It is. It always is. It's never your fault. Blame external factors no matter what.
That's called taking the blame game to a whole new level.
Yeah. There's no such thing as accountability. But Make-A-Wish, back upstairs, they have that Solus and Valkyrie, which is a pretty lethal duo the first time that they were here, and I expect them to continue those aggressive plays. Kicks actually brings out the Frost. A little bit of a pick you don't always see, especially on this site, but we'll see if those mats are even being able to use, just because I feel like at this point, 6 Karma haven't even been anywhere close to getting to the site, so, you know, and Pachito, oh goodness.
Oh my
There it
god,
is.
bro!
There it is.
What is that? He did all that damage with a 9 mil. You know how slow that thing shoots? That's absurd. Make-A-Wish are just dominating at seemingly every front, and are not done by any means. Skimzy now trying to go an upside down rappel, try and find something back the other way. As it's open for them, they actually are given the opportunity, good setup, having one player assist the other in that overall fight setup, and a follow-up from Soko. Gives 6 Karma 3 straight kills. They lose the opening duel, but they are far from out of this round.
Something about this cocktail site with all those early gunfights, huh? There's so much going on early. Is they still have that Valk with that C4 and all that information that they do have to work with, but that is not a great use of it as Morph takes down Rex, and that leaves Butters in a 1v4 with a lot of time yet to burn. 2 minutes. Not a great position for him to have to be in, as the information now comes through, and Butters has to try and isolate these kills. Not able to do it. Skimzy finds that kill, and 6 Karma give themselves another round and stop the bleeding a little bit.
Like I said, game's fault. It was totally a headshot for Butters, and he
For
just
sure.
looked away. Absolutely. No. Mostly a situation where you think you've killed somebody happens with pea shooters. I mean paper cutters. I mean the MPX or the TS or the T5 or a few other weapons. MX4 Storm is death by 1,000 paper cuts. An unfortunate finish, but honestly one that was not out of the realm of possibility. Having that 1v4 with 2 minutes left, because, you know, casually half the lobby died in about 45, 50 seconds, because that's normal. Now, Make-A-Wish going back to the second of the sites they attempted, that being reading and dining here on the second floor. Their defensive side looking to hold true. If they can make this a 4-2 defensive half, they're looking pretty good. Not great, but pretty good, all things considered. They just have to make sure they can match the energy of 6 Karma.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll get to the attacks when we get there, but Oregon was not exactly the greatest thing with their attacks, so this defensive round win really necessary if they want to take this game, and very important. It is a site that I believe they have won, so a great spot for them to be in. As we saw those opening picks go through, so much chaos to start it off as Maxley goes for his first pick, not able to find the kill. 6 Karma very slow out of the spawn. They don't want to give him anything.
Oh, Silent playing with fire, or with very large caliber bullets, all things considered. Still trying to take this fight, is not done just yet at least. Playing on top of the table, still looking for the shot. You can see at least the attempt is there, but they need to find this kill. At a bare minimum, they've wasted 30 seconds of their time. So, you know, defensive side more than happy with that. But an opening pick would be everything. It is, just for 6 Karma.
Yeah, that was a very long engagement. It's like we're playing Peaks right now. And Soko comes out on top. A big opening pick for them, as that's not what they had the last time that they had attacked this site. So we'll see what they can do with that. But Make-A-Wish, I mean, from playing from behind on their defenses, it hasn't been great, as we've seen on their 2 cocktail defenses. They've had to play from behind on both of those, and hasn't gone very well for them. They've given up a lot of picks, as we see again Maxley going down, and that opening pick showing its importance as 6 Karma give themselves a big advantage here. As Butters just...
What? Is he having a tea? He's just chilling, I guess. Okay, you do you, I suppose. 1-for-1 trade. Morph does get the refrag with that Mark 14 long range. Nice shot from Xro. Makes it a 1v3. Certainly possible. And walking into an EDD is both Soko and Pachito. A total of 150 and change done off the back of that. And Pachito now looking to get this diffuser down safely. The problem is there are very few safe places at this point. If they use that Spec IO glass, they can try and find them out, but they do not. So Pachito does indeed get the diffuser down, and kicks Rose in a true 1v2 post plant, trying to come back from the brink.
And the big cross is here, and that twitch on that window. This seems like it's practically unwinnable, as I don't even think he's found the case. And he'll be lucky to even get more than a kill here, as there is a drone out. The twitch practically already won the round, and Kicks desperately looking to try and find a kill. But as that clock reads 15 seconds, it's not going to amount to all too much, as Kicks does find the kill, but it does get traded in 6 karma. Tie us up at 3, and that is quite good for them going into their defensive side here.
3-3. Fairly even split. And Make-A-Wish are overall happy with that one. You can see the chats from Make-A-Wish. They're commending Pachito for playing patient on that repel. And at this point, 6 Karma just need to play the way they are comfortable with. What worked on Oregon until it doesn't. Because Make-A-Wish were not able to meet that defensive aggression. If 6 Karma can continue to honestly just play as Make-A-Wish did in the first 3 or 4 rounds here on Cafe, then this should be a 7-3, 7-4 in favor of our South American friends. But if not, and Make-A-Wish are able to try and find something back, maybe kills, maybe aggression, maybe, hopefully a combination of the two, that's when 6 Karma need to worry, do we have to switch things up?
Yeah, but they don't quite yet. We'll see how these attack/defenses evolve as we get later on in this game, and it's kind of the first time this game has ever really been close, kind of going towards the later stages, so we'll see what these two teams are really made of. 6 Karma when they're under pressure, and Make-A-Wish when they've actually started to figure things out a little bit, but this first attack is going to be big, as we saw on that first, that first map, or attacks, not so great, as they weren't really even close to winning a single round, as Akavil goes for a peek and not able to find it. Silent finds the kill, and I thought a lot more of those shots connected. Seemingly not. The Silent only loses about maybe 15 HP, and coming out better on that is the Wamai going out as Soko goes out for it, not able to find the kill. That was an opportunity. He only hits 1 shot, and Silent, again, the subject of Torment, not able to find the kill, as he's now still on his feet and alive.
That's a setup I like, playing on the Mark 14 long range. Kicks row, wall hacking. I mean, looking at their own teammate through the walls, because you're actually allowed to do that. They're just waiting to try and open up the hatches. Morphed, finds a kill across onto Rexavy, and this fight trying to come through. I think the C4 was shot out of thin air. No, it wasn't. It was actually just thrown on the side of the hatch. Sound keeping there. But Pachito now trying to fall back. Should I go? Throw your drone straight into Maxley, however, throwing his gun straight into Pachito's body.
Yeah, and a good pick for Max to find back, and he puts himself to 10 kills in our 7th round. A great performance from him, but Silent was stepped up earlier as Kicks kind of equalizes over there, but he kind of needs that second person to really step up in the frag department, and that kind of is the case when you are playing against fragging teams. You just need players to step up and go big. You just need players to, frag, and those kills need to go their way, as Silent had a great start to the map and has slowed down a little bit as Kicks has kind of found his groove a little bit, but clearly hasn't been enough for the last couple of rounds, as Max has been continuing to, hold on to his stride, and the rest of his team maybe not as much up to par, and that timing is quite terrible as well. Not the first time we've seen that. This map is Butters finds a kill and takes some damage, but Silent has pushed in deep, and he's not able to find the kill. Walks into another player as Kicks finds another kill. They know this player is somewhere over by Cocktails. Morph makes it a 1v1. Kicks goes down. 2 of the players, the stars for their team so far on this map, and the big swing round to give one of their teams a lead. Max trying to hit the shots here, trying to get the wall bang through. He knows this player's in Cocktail, but the information should be strong for Six Karma as Morphed playing it nice and slow. Max has the case in his hands now as he's going to start to put this bomb down, and Morph slowly going to inch his way forward as he has the information, but Max finds the kill as Morph just sits there staring at the sun, not reacting in any way as Max wins the 1v1.
Oh, and you could see Maxley in chat as well, making sure he knows it with that shot across. I gotta say, even with the information, it just didn't do anything. He sat there having a staring contest with the side of a bar. I will allow the fact that, in all fairness, he was trying to play very patient, allow the aggression from Max to come through. Unfortunately, not close enough to the bar to warrant that staring contest. And make a wish with the opening round on this attacking side. That was the difference for Six Karma in the first half. Picking up that opening round made it a 3-3 split. Here for Make-A-Wish, will it make it 3-3 and possibly send us to OT, or is that the round that gives them the momentum to possibly send us on towards club?
I mean, they look good in the middle stages of the round, which is a great position for them to be in. That's where they struggled a lot on Oregon. I mean, they kind of struggled in every single part of their attacks, especially the early round, but the mid round was no better. And that's a great position for them to be in. It's not like, even though it did go down to a 1v1, but they had a 4v2. They just started to throw it away a little bit. But that's a good position to be in, and it gives you that confidence of, hey, guys, we can dominate these attacks, and we clean up a little bit towards the later stages of it, and we put ourselves in a great spot to continue to win these rounds. And that gives me a lot of confidence if I'm a supporter or a coach or whoever of Make-A-Wish to, have the confidence in the boys to continue to build off of that and make things happen. And Kicks does go down as I'm just gassing up what they've done the last round. They just throw it away. How dare I caster curse these people?
Yeah, I was about to say, if you look up the definition of a caster's curse, you'll see Joe's very shocked face staring right back at you in Google Images. Six Karma on this defensive side. That's the opening kill that they need. Hope you guys make it out of groups from Kicks. Flaming them before the major starts. We even made it to groups, and Kicks is not holding back. I love it. I absolutely love it. But information now, and try to play around this white stairs window on the defensive side. You can see the aggression already coming through, but actually still able to find a kill with a different Claymore set up outside. Actually looking for a refrag, won't be able to find it. Silent is taken out in that engagement though, and losing your ace is not the most ideal of situations, but life could be worse.
Don't jump out here. You saw a Claymore earlier.
I don't think that lands.
It
does. Wow.
I guess. Wow. Right? I mean, Maxley finding kills in every way, shape, and form, right? Whether it's Claymores, his gun, impacts, every way you could think of getting a kill, you end up finding one as Maxley has this nice little drone. He can do it all, can't he? And just too slow on the kill. That would have evened everything up, and not having a hard breach can be a little problematic here, but luckily, shouldn't have to worry about too much on the flanks here as those gridlocks are down, but Skimsy finds another kill. Rex, who's been struggling so far on this map, ends up getting taken down as Butters needs to start making it happen as well, and Max putting a couple bullets, putting a little bit of lead into his own teammate. Like I said, hitting everything that moves and not able to connect on those shots, and the time's ticking down, Dan. They need to find some kills.
Oh, and Akabil walking up from behind with a shotgun in hand. SMG-11 as well. I don't know how in the Ferrari peak that just happened, but that was a Counter-Strike moment and a half. Just walking across the screen and then you're evaporated. Nice kill across and way to tie us up there for Six Karma. They do so in style as well. The opening kill really to set the tone, and then Make-A-Wish were playing from behind the entire way forward. Six Karma not even giving them the space to try and regain. And now on this defensive side, they have some control to play off of. And most importantly, we will see the bottom floor for the first time thus far today. Also, the first map, I believe, we've seen today that have had all 4 sites played.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
That's
as many
nice.
bombs as they can.
I like that. Siege balanced in its great state. Six Karma is the one opting to go down here as they bring out the dock again. And the Solus and Oryx on that roam, I think, is good. I think that can wreak a lot of havoc, and they've been doing just that. And Thorn we don't always see on this downstairs, but I guess not necessarily a bad thing. You can throw it on that white door. Get that shield for the backside. Actually, I lied. There is no shield, not a single one. Which is a little interesting. You normally see a shield over here to play in that VIP area to lock out everything. But no shield, all good. You have everything else. Doesn't matter. You don't need a shield if they don't even get into the map, which is something that could possibly happen. Is Spawn Peak is going to come in. Skimsy, do it. Do it.
I just love this run out before they added the extra wall. Shot from Soko, a quarter mile away from his target, but he drops kicks row. It was just going through it at this point. As soon as they start trash talking on the Make-A-Wish side, Sick Karma took it personally and are now looking to shut him down at seemingly every avenue of attack. Soko just ran out, because why not? Almost was able to find a kill off the back. They ran it 3 meters further forward, they would have found it. But no, they're not done just yet. Impacts do damage. Maxily is downed somewhere. Where is unbeknownst to me, but I don't think it really matters. It's a 5v technical 2, and is this a round, or are we in like the practice range? That's the thing, right? Please tell me that's a thing.
You got to get this kill. The kill has to be found here. There you go. Butters finding a big one, but Rex does end up getting taken down. Yeah, he is stuck right now, not in a great place. Butters in a 1v3 left on his own to fend for himself as we see a little bit of a totem on 6 Karma, and that is tough. Another quick round, and Dan, I don't know, did you know about that phrase? You know about that term?
Totem or McChickens?
The totem, McChickens.
You didn't see Max in chat. I'm just in love with this chat battle. What's the term totem? Is this the Minecraft totem of undying, or
no? One player on top, one player on the bottom,
okay,
different heights.
Okay, yeah.
McChickens are good too.
Yeah, McChickens are pretty nice. I was like, is this a specific reference I'm missing? Did somebody bring out the McChicken reference from like 3 seasons ago before I started cast, or 3 years ago? 6 Karma, back-to-back rounds. I believe that's 3 in a row, if I recall correctly, into the final round of that first half. Maybe even 4. They're looking pretty clean, all things considered.
This 2.
And
This 2.
Make-A-Wish on this attack. The question, especially for them, remains, oh, you're right, it is 2. Oh, jeez. I believe we are going to have what we like to call in the business a rehost, which is so much fun and everybody adores. Unless 6 Karma is just going to let... Oh, they are. That's a shame. I really was hoping they were going to let, as the kids say, let their nuts hang and try and go for a 4v5.
Oh, they're doing it.
No, rehost! I do know! I love this.
I like this.
I'm so happy. Maxley saying, y'all savage for that, can't lie. Honestly, yeah, Pachito's coming
Mamba
back.
mentality.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna say it.
Is
Pachito's 3-7 as well. At least through at least 8 play, and finding that kill to even things up and dropping Butters on the buck. Oh my goodness, 6 Karma. They are letting their nuts hang. I'm gonna say it. I don't care.
You had to know a kill was going to happen in the first 10 seconds when they say no. You had to know something was cooked up. Oh, no. And Kix goes down, too. I don't want to be the one to say it, but there may be some mental chalkage going on, and I don't want to see all that because this game is oh so close. And what just happened?
What? They just double ran out.
Stop
Morph is now trying to play from behind. SMG11 walking down white stairs. He's playing off site, but it's a 1v2. How in the world have 6 Karma taken what was a guaranteed man advantage and now given up the round? Heat check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a cooler. That's a heat check from Make-A-Wish, tying things up.
Welcome to Solar Flare Season 6. You love that, huh? It's great.
Amazing.
That's high quality Siege at its best. Fantastic. Well, locked up at 5. Big round for Make-A-Wish. Kind of gifted themselves right back into the game. And I don't want to be the one to say it, but it feels like all they have to do is survive the first 10 seconds of a round, and they won it. Because they have gotten spawn peaked in the first 10 seconds of the last 3 rounds.
I feel like it's a similar situation that Six Karma was running into on their own attacking side. Where if Make-A-Wish found like that opening kill, they were trying to spawn peek around towards Christmas or around towards Docks, and Six Karma survived and or doubled down and found a return spawn kill. That's when they were able to play with advantages and take out rounds. But that hasn't been the case, at least not on a consistent basis in the second half. With Make-A-Wish in the first and most recent round picking up those rounds in their favor, you're looking at it and saying, what is Six Karma doing wrong? And on multiple different fronts you can say very little. But that over-aggression that was not as measured as we have seen in rounds or maps, including Oregon prior, that's what's costing them. If they can measure that aggression while still having early aggression, just not doing so as consistently, that's when they're going to start to flourish in the mid.
Mid-round is also important. I do just want to note Maxley on 14 kills right now, but you look over on Six Karma and they haven't relied on one person to really get those kills, so they kind of spread the wealth a little bit, even though Pachito is down on only 4 kills. I'm sure he'll catch up. They're all spreading the wealth. I'm sure he'll find some love at one point, but C4 does go out, not able to find a kill, but it does over half the damage onto Silent, and Make-A-Wish have survived the early stages of a round, and that's the first time we can say that in about 10 to 12 minutes. So that's a good start, solid for them. Well.
Hello, Morph, or goodbye, I suppose, in this case. There is a return, a doubled up one at that. A Cheeto out with a pistol in hand. That's just walking around with a Colt 45 in your back pocket. And Make-A-Wish are looking from bad to worse, or good to bad, depending on how you look at it. Butters does find a refrag, so Pachito is dropped. No extra bit of aggression with the XM in hand, but problems here for Make-A-Wish is how do you get back in and around the site? Because Six Karma has basically shut you out entirely.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the ace to work with. Try and get this wall open over there. I think that Mute Jammer should still be there, and this player is playing on stage instead of Christmas, and that's going to be a big thing over on this piano, and if he can get cleared out, that's kind of the opportunity. But you see how many angles are open from 6K. Practically the entirety is open, and it's like Rex with Case is going to work downstairs. Interestingly enough.
A weird split setup as well here for Make-A-Wish. If they don't clear out Soko, this is going to be a similar situation as to what we saw Maxley have, or even Kix have, in that first half, playing inside of the Cigar Lounge. Akabil with an SMG-11 of their own, finding a kill there. Somehow Skimzy still has their head attached to the rest of their body. But with the diffuser drop, there's limited amounts of time here for Make-A-Wish to try and get this. Butters trying to play from above with the V308 through that hatch. Akabil has seen the diffuser, is now playing directly on towards it, having that spec IO in their back pocket, and the problem's not done just yet, but Butters just drops in and finds a kill. Skimzy taken care of. They still need to collect the diffuser and get it upstairs. I don't think they have the time to do so. They have completely foregone playing around the objective, and it's going to cost them the round. Six Karma onto map and match point to try and close this one out in a 2-0 fashion and move on to the SFCL Season 6 playoffs.
Yeah, not sure they really had the time to go collect that case either. They kind of had to make a decision, and they hesitated just a little bit, but even then, I don't think they were finding that player, and 6K playing that quite well, and I mean, I think that was Soko on the mute, if I'm correct, playing over on that stage area, kind of saving the round, and a great play, a very smart play from him, and very disciplined, and puts themselves on a match point, like you said, and Make-A-Wish need to do something to step in, send us to overtime at the very least, if they want to make those playoffs, at least extend the series a little bit. But Six Karma looking great so far on their defenses, and Make-A-Wish, they had the start that we all said that they needed, which is to stay alive past 10 seconds. That's not very high standards, but it is there. That's what they needed, and they weren't able to do much after that.
Final gauntlet here for Six Karma. Akabil taking out at least one drone. Taking a look at the top left of your screen. You like the little dots? What's your opinion of the new changes to how utility is shown? Good or bad? Yeah, I like it.
Yes. I agree.
Yes. Okay. Well, some information for you. They're already lost 3 drones on the Make-A-Wish side, so some lack of information maybe later on in the round. But 6 Karma trying to play for this aggression, and without information, Make-A-Wish could have it cost them the map. Because, well, Cheeto trying to set up for a very late spawn. About a calendar year too late, if you ask me. Also, no spawn on that side of the map. But 6 Karma, they just don't care about playing conventional playstyles, at least for NA T2.5, T3. They are just continually holding W and taking the fights. They do not want the fights taken to them. He still goes for it. And he wins it!
No way.
No
There's
shots!
no way. He
Okay,
lost
bro.
that?
I was about to say I've never seen Silent lose these. I can no longer do so.
You didn't even need to say it. Caster curse hit.
I caster thought cursed it.
That. Right.
That.
Yes. Not a great person, but Silent does end up getting taken down, and a minute down, and Skimzy starting to work his way up the stairs, kind of knowing that there isn't too much presence up there, but there is a player coming down those red stairs, and Skimzy, wiser in the moment, doesn't decide to take the fight, as that is the IQ of Kix, taking his space over on the red stairs, and that should be the upstairs pretty much handled, as you see the soul that's kind of coming out, as you do see that C4 spotted out. This is the luxury of having an IQ on the board.
IQ, the direct counter, is the spec IO of Akabeel. And at this point, on the defensive side, 6 Karma are basically playing Battleship, where they have to avoid every time an impact comes from above, or they could take the fight to him. Again, playing for aggression, hunting down the French mountain, and looking to send it home. 1v5 for Butters is not gonna happen. Closing it out, as seemingly things started off here on Cafe. A shotgun, aggression, and a dock stim, just to make sure it was a foregone conclusion. 6 Karma, 7-2 on Make-A-Wish's map pick of Oregon, 7-5 on their own of Cafe. They will move on to the Season 6 playoffs.
To the final playoffs, you know.
Same thing.
Final stage. And a great position for them to be. I mean, 6 Karma, I guess, before the stage started. I would say, me personally, at the very least, I expected them to end up making those playoffs. And at a 3-1 record, once again, similar place, really, that I expect them to be in a pretty good performance. And they did slip a little bit on this map of Cafe, but they were able to kind of rope themselves back in and get that, because it's kind of funny, because the only round that they really, lost, for the most part, was the one that they had a 4v5, but they almost missed that. So, great from them. I mean, we expected them to win their defenses in Cafe. Their map pick was the close they looked pretty good on for the most part in that chaotic playstyle.
I appreciate the chaos, and it's a nice breath of fresh air from 45 seconds of every round being where all the kills are found. Can we start to cast games? Here are your end of map replays brought to you by the High School Sports League. I was talking about banning out the Nook. I don't think it really mattered. Apparently Sledge is now with the Nook, walking around with a pistol in hand. You saw that in the first round. And the throwbacks were just consistently there. But Make-A-Wish showed much better signs of life. So as they move on to round 5 of the Swiss, I'm still looking for them to make it. I don't really know who they'll play. Still, matches to be determined. But I still think they make it.
You'd expect them to. I mean, it really depends on which version of them we see. I mean, you saw the highs and lows of them in this map, so you get the highs of them, they can be a very, very good team, but at their lowest point, they can be very lost or just not great, to be, put it bluntly, I guess. So, we've seen them at their highest, we've seen